if we will continue to just create beautiful offices, impressive facades of our school campuses, I think it's high time that we have to really be mindful of the need for us to be attentive to learning, to be learning focused. Second, of the challenges that we school leaders face is about the so-called learning losses and the widening academic gaps. We all are aware that there's really an issue of equity. That's why in our basic education development plan that Secretary Lining has actually inspired us to work on, we are adding a pillar other than access, quality, and good governance. We are now saying that in the Department of Education, we'll be mindful of equity. We know that girls tend to outperform the boys among the learners generally. So we have to come up with strategies that will embolden our male learners to actually be doing better. We all are aware on the basis of many results of assessments that learners coming from the urban areas tend to do better compared with the learners in the rural areas. So we should be able to come up with some form of affirmative action for the learners in the rural areas. I'm saying, I'm referring to the general trend. I know there are outstanding schools as well in the rural areas, but this is the general trend. What are the other sources of these gaps or inequities? We all are aware that learners who are coming from the higher social classes, socioeconomic background, would always consistently tend to outperform their poorer counterparts. So we have to come up with special interventions addressing the unique needs of learners coming from poor families. Most of them do not have, academically stimulating home environments. So we have to be also mindful of those things. Third challenge is the increased trauma and socio-emotional needs of our fellow teachers and of the learners. So again, this brings me back to what I said, that the most important task is to inspire our fellow teachers and even inspire the learners to be engaged in the learning task. And so we have to make sure that academic is sustained, that the learners will always feel that they are provided an opportunity to be supported by our fellow teachers and even by parents and other members of our society. The next challenge facing us is the existing systemic inequities. I actually have mentioned the gap in academic achievement between males and the females, those the urban and rural, areas, and also learners from the higher social classes or the wealthier learners or the learners from middle class families compared with the learners from the poorer families. We have to address them. And of course, I also say that, ourselves, when our own children, we are all middle class, belonging to the middle class. We are stable sources of income. We are college educated. And what do we do with our own children? Even before they are born, we try to teach them how to sing, how to count, how to do the ABC, etc. They cannot even talk yet, but most of us would want them to actually read the alphabet. Yeah. But how about children from poorer families? They are not given such academic stimulation by their own parents. Finally, a challenge that school leaders face also is about the barriers to demonstrate meaningful growth and change. We should, again, inspire our fellow teachers and eventually the learners to be equipped with the so-called growth mindset. Growth mindset is about the idea that our capacities can be actually expanded or enriched. We can do better if we exert more effort. We do not say, I can only do this because I was born this way. That's not how it is when you believe that everybody is capable of growing. And that mindset will hopefully be very instrumental for us to be able to foster higher academic achievement among the learners. So, fellow school leaders, you've heard me say this, that my ideal leader is a prince. It's an acronym representing 6 words that describe the traits of my ideal leader. Prince is about being proactive. When you want to succeed as a school leader, you should actually do not wait for your superiors to tell you what to do. You have to take the initiative. Of course, study the trends yourself and come up with the interventions that will actually prevent you from, creating problems. That will actually prevent the occurrence of our anticipated, risks and problems later on. One who is proactive is always capable of taking the initiative. R is about resource orientation, as I've been sharing. No leader or no person will ever attain anything if he is not focused on the results, if he is not clear about the goals, if he or she is not clear about the goals he or she wants to accomplish. I is intelligence, and intelligence here is not about possessing high IQ. Any leader with an average intelligence, a high average intelligence quotient, or will be okay. But the intelligence here is about being self-smart and being people-smart. When we are self-smart, we possess self-mastery. We understand ourselves. We know our weaknesses so that we can improve them on them continuously. We know our strengths so that we can capitalize on them. When we are people-smart, we are able to work harmoniously with others. We recognize that not all human beings think the way that we do. Not everybody in our team has the same way of, appreciating certain problems or challenges. That to me is very important for a leader, because a leader has to work with people. Therefore, you should be very, very creative in dealing with human beings, fellow human beings. C, N in the prince is network building. No one also accomplishes anything without others. And in that end, we always have to work collaboratively and creatively and productively with our stakeholders. Network of stakeholders that provide the resources that we lack, because we will never have perhaps a time when all the money is available for us to implement everything that is, that we decide to implement, so that learning outcomes will be improved. C, to me, is the most important element of the Prince framework, which is because this is about credibility. A leader who is not credible will never succeed. When we are credible, whatever it is we say, we actually matches with our actions. So our words and our actions always are congruent. When we are credible, even our thoughts, our values should be in harmony with the words and actions, with our utterances and our behaviors. E is about empowering. I always also say this, that the moment you become a principal, your first work is to look for people who will replace you in the school. You have to coach them, mentor them, delegate some aspects of the work you do to them so that they would experience how it is to become little principals. Empowerment is really capacitating people in our team and making them ready to be the successors, our successors. So that's the Prince model. I also invite you to always create a riot or join me in a riot, which will not create, quarrels and mess in the organization, because riot is about respecting people in our team, acknowledging that we are not the only source of knowledge. We are not the only one who knows how to improve and solve the problems that we have right now. Respect is realizing that all human beings are created by God with dignity. So even the janitors, the students themselves, or our teachers, the teachers in our schools, they are not inferior to us. They are our equals. They are our fellow human beings. To me, that's the way to be more respectful, acknowledging that everybody is capable of contributing to the attainment of our organizational goals. I is intentions that are clear, that are clean, intentions that are not about us becoming richer or us becoming, able to get the next opportunity to get promoted. Intentions, anything we do should be inspired by the idea that we are trying to serve, our learners or our fellow teachers the best way we could. Because after all, we are all public servants in the Department of Education. O is optimism. And optimism, to me, is also always bearing in mind that when we exert a little effort, we end up attaining more, improving whatever it is that we want to improve. Optimism is always allowing ourselves to be inspired by the idea that no amount of challenges will defeat us. I remember one former boss who would remind me, "Dads, anything that will not kill us will strengthen us." So I always think about this tip that I got from a former boss, and I think this is really true. So even if the challenge appears to be so Herculean, it will not kill us. It will end up making us strong. It will end up allowing us to actually discover that we are capable of, doing those things or surmounting those challenges. That's optimism. And trust is, believing that everybody is, no, even the criminals are capable of doing something. Finally, we are called the CI strand in the DepEd Central Office to represent curriculum and instruction. But when I joined the strand as the USEC for CI, the curriculum and instruction, I also reminded my team, we are here and we should not forget that children are important. So that's another CI. Children are important. Again, thank you very much, fellow school principals in the secondary level. Mabuhay po kayo. May God bless your undertakings to ensure